Alrighty then. So this is we're gonna call this the making of the micro celebrity blueprint, and this is where everything started. This is where the magic happened, and really what we're doing here is just a powwow mastermind um, between Brandon Oris Brown, Christian Alva, and Rashonda Gilmer. So basically, you should be able to get some nuggets out of this because we're going to exchange some ideas and we're going to also drop some valuable knowledge. So let's kick this thing off. So basically, what we're here to talk about is the micro celebrity blueprint and just kind of the feel, the tone, and really what this project is, and how it's going to be valuable for artists who are trying to break into the music industry, singers, songwriters, producers, to break into the business on their terms using technology, using social media, while still having fun. But the product is really centered around branding, okay? And, I really feel, as long as I think I can speak for Rashonda as well, we really feel that personal branding is everything in the new music economy. It's everything. If you don't have a personal brand, you're going to be in some trouble because the internet, as we all know, has created a massive influx of opportunities for people to spread their talent all around the world for basically no money, no advertising, no nothing. So the people who have the correct strategies will obviously be the ones who will be able to capitalize in the new economy. Now, the micro celebrity blueprint, basically what we're doing here is we want to teach artists how to build a micro celebrity brand and use sites like Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and also really teach them how to build a brand. Okay, that's really what we're doing. And then kind of the concept behind it is how to put everything on autopilot and use automation tools to use on some of the profiles. So basically what the big, some of the biggest mindsets just from people that Roshonda and I have been dealing with and talking to and coaching and things like that. What we have found is that people are still having a hard time wrapping their mind around what exactly to do on social media. Okay, they understand that there's all these people here, but the reoccurring question that keeps popping up is how do I get traffic? How do I get, people to my websites? How do I get people in front of my music? How do I sell my music? And this product is really going to help that that problem because the big mindset shift is really moving from a hit-based economy to a niche and personal branding-based economy. So basically what I mean by that is before the internet was really popping and before social media really disrupted the music industry, unit-based sales were the golden ticket, okay? So everybody was rushing out to get a record label, a record deal, a distribution deal, all these kind of different deals like that because the label would obviously front them the money to basically spread their music all around the world. Okay. Now, why that worked in the past was because sales were based on units. Okay, it was a unit-based model. So, what that actually means is that the actual sale of physical units was how artists made money. It wasn't really the music went on the unit, and the unit is what was traded for dollars. So now that units are not selling anymore, people think that the music industry is dead. People are not making money because there's not an avenue for them to basically sell their music. So what we're doing on the micro celebrity blueprint is we're showing you that your brand is actually your new currency. Okay, it's all about your brand. And if you think about pretty much a lot of the major artists that are out right now, from the Nicki Minaj's to the Drakes to the Taylor Swifts to, you know, Carrie Underwood's, to, you know, Blink-182's, like all of the big mainstream artists who are making money off of their careers have established brands, and their followers understand their brand, their movement, and what they represent. Quick story: how I met Travis Barker. Okay, I was at a club, and his assistant came up to me and was like, "Yo, I see you're wearing the Famous Stars and Straps shirt." And I was like, yeah. He was like, that's what's up. Thanks for representing the movement. So he actually brings me over to Travis. I talked to Travis, and then 2 days later, I end up sitting down with Travis at Starbucks for like 3 hours and just talking and stuff like that. Now, the point of that story is Travis recognized me as, you know, he calls it the family. Like, that's his movement. His movement is Famous Stars and Straps, and they have what they call the family. And it's basically all of their crew who represent family and represent Famous Stars and Straps. So basically what we're teaching in this program is how to build fans through your personal brand, and then how to go out and actually posture your brand, market your brand, so that you attract people into your brand. And since we're in an economy where music isn't really, you know, units aren't really being sold like they were before, what you have to leverage is your brand. Okay, so what I mean by that is your content is now your marketing, right? So your music is now your marketing. People want to hear you first. They want to see what you're about. They want to see exactly what you represent if they can vibe with you. Once they vibe with you, then you build a relationship with them through value, through social media, through sites like Facebook, YouTube, MySpace, and you have an intention to bring them deeper down the hole so that they can get to know you better. And at the bottom of the hole is where you sell your music, is where you sell your show, your concerts, your ringtones, and this, that, and the third. So basically what the focal point of this training course is to teach artists how to go from just having a good voice or being a good artist or whatever, a good singer, songwriter, rapper, whatever, and how to actually convert that into a brand that's magnetic, that attracts the millions of people that are on social media, and to really frame that in a way that they can generate fans, and they generate you know, new people to their shows and things like that, pretty much, you know, on autopilot. I mean, that, and I really believe that that's possible. So the last thing I want to touch on, and then I'll let you guys go, is that I got an email from a gentleman, really positive guy, really focused, hungry, wants to get into the game, you know, and he's really trying to figure out how to leverage social media, okay? And he has profiles set up. He's you know, sending out friend requests, and he's active on social media. And I think that's where most people are at right now, okay? They have talent, they have their social media profiles, and, you know, they're out there actively promoting their concerts and their shows. Now, where I think the problem is the intention of, or the intention behind what's actually going on the profiles. And one of the things we're going to be teaching you in the Micro Celebrity Blueprint is how to create a voice and a conversation on your profiles, so that when people discover you online, they're actually joining into the conversation, and they're actually becoming a part of your community. And your profiles and your pages are designed and optimized so that you take people through a process so that they can go to a deeper level with you. And I think that's one of the biggest problems, okay? People are focused on subscribers, they're focused on Facebook likes, they're focused on, you know, tweeting stuff that doesn't really have an intention of moving people onto their fan asset list. And unless you move people onto your fan asset list, you are going to have a hard time building a relationship with hundreds or even thousands of people. So that's what the Micro Celebrity Blueprint is all about. So I spoke my piece. Ro, Christian, if you guys want to kind of, you know.
Ro, you can go ahead. I'm writing down some notes on the screen. So why don't Why doesn't Ro go, and then I'll put in some stuff after I hear what she has to say, if that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think to take off of what you said, Brandon, it will be about, and going over engagement like we did earlier in a mastermind earlier.
Yeah.
Really showing, artists how to, because one of the things, it's like social media, specifically YouTube, it sets the stage for artists so beautifully that just like you need to optimize a video when you put one up, you've got to optimize your following. And like you said, have an intention behind, every status update, every tweet, every video. What are you doing with your following? So after your show is over, as an artist, what happens? What is your intention behind what you want your following to do next? And that's a matter of engagement. Building your fan asset list, making sure that you're doing much more than just building friends to build friends or subscribers to build subscribers. Having an attention behind that, so then it becomes much more of an asset for them long term. And if someone's, obviously we're going to show them how to make things happen in social media without a record label, but if that's part of their overall goal, as we chatted about earlier, Brandon, they will be able to build with the things and the principles that we teach them. They'll be able to build a asset that, if you have 10,000, let's say, followers on your social media outlets, and they're responsive to you, and they're part of your community, and they're part of your movement, that's leverage. That's something to take to a label and say, I've got this and I've got that. And that's huge. And that's a big part of what I believe, micro celebrity will bring to the table, and especially from a branding aspect, really, really narrowing down on what sets you apart from the other artists in your genre, what makes you unique, what is your movement, what is your story, where you come, all that stuff, comes into the picture and comes out, via your brand and the message that you send to your audience.
Yeah, no, I want to just chime in on that and say that the points that you touched on when I speak to a lot of artists and when I coach a lot of artists, things like your story, things like the engagement level, these are very subtle things that make a huge impact on your ability to move a person from a complete stranger to a loyal fan. And a lot of times people have trouble, really kind of understanding the process. And that's another thing we're going to be going over in the Micro Celebrity Blueprint is how do you move a complete stranger who you have never spoke to, who you have never had any contact with, how do you take them through a series of events that allows them to get to know you, like, and trust you? Okay, that's marketing and sales 101, is people need to know you, like you, and trust you. And you need to understand that if people don't resonate with you, then they're not going to buy from you. And 9 times out of 10, they're not going to resonate with you the first 2 or 3 times they see your videos or they, see you on social media. So that's another big, key insight that you can take away is you should always be thinking about how can I build equity with my target market and then leverage that equity to sell my music or to sell my brand and leverage my brand. Because I really believe that the new currency, and this is what all the futurists, if you study the trends, this is what all the music futurists are saying, that in the new music economy, people will pay with attention, okay? They won't pay with, buying your music and things like that. They will pay with attention. And if you really grasp that concept, you can put yourself so far ahead of the curve, because what that means is that if you build a brand and then you take that brand and you make those people feel like they're valued by providing value, and you create a reciprocity relationship with them, then what you're able to do is you're able to actually leverage yourself and charge for access to yourself. And we spoke about this earlier. So what I mean by charging access to yourself is, think about a concert, okay? You should always be thinking about a concert, okay? Whenever you buy tickets to a concert, you pay more to get closer to the stage or to get closer to the audience, all right? And that's really the model for the new music economy, is that the only reason why you pay more money to get closer to the stage is because you want to be more engaged, and you want to just feel like you're more in tune with the person that you're watching. Okay, and same thing with social media. When you get people to a place where they feel that they are part of your movement and that they are helping you build your movement, then when you charge $2,000 for a private retreat somewhere where you're going to spend the weekend with them and you're going to interact with them and you're going to perform and things like that, then that's how you're going to start to monetize your music, and that's how you're going to start to make money outside of your music. One more quick nugget that I just thought about off the top of my head, and really this is where the music industry, I'm telling you, this is where things are going. We, in a webinar me and Christian did, or let me be politically correct, Christian and I did, we talked about this young lady named Jill Sobel who made $89,000 from her album before she even made the album. Okay, and that is proof in the pudding. And I guarantee you 99.9% of people who are listening to this recording have never heard of Jill Sobel. And if you have, I mean, you're probably the 1%. But basically what Jill did was she had a micro niche, and she had a brand that people know, liked, and trust. And she actually had an engaged audience, and they actually funded her, music. And that was just the tip of the iceberg, okay? So imagine what you can. She did this back when Facebook, didn't have, 500 and or actually 750 million people. When YouTube didn't have 500 million people. When Twitter didn't have 270 or 80 million people. She did it all when it was back in the MySpace days. It was like 160 million people or 200 million people. Right? So that is proof in the pudding, and you can research her and see that once you have a brand and you get your audience responsive, then the sky is really the limit. And that's what we're going to be teaching you inside of the Micro Celebrity Blueprint, is how to leverage those principles, how to leverage those tools so that you can actually run a business, a real business that generates cash flow. The last idea that I want to just give you guys that kind of came to my head, thinking about the Jill Sobel deal, is I want you to imagine if you have an audience of, a responsive audience of, let's say, 2,000 or 3,000 people, which if you're doing YouTube videos and you know the strategies that we're going to be teaching you inside this training, then, you're going to be getting a lot of hits from your videos. You're going to be getting a lot of Facebook likes. You're going to be getting a lot of people on Twitter. I mean, you're going to be equipped with the ammunition to really, attract people, from all over the world. So 2,000, 3,000 people on your fan asset list, which we're going to show you how to do and how to build, I don't think that's going to be a big deal. Now, what I was going to say was the strategy and kind of the freebie that I'm going to give is I want you to imagine if you have 3,000 people on your list, which is very attainable, and you do something where you fly in to your hometown for the weekend, 10 of your top fans, and they actually pay you to come in. They pay you, let's say, $500 or $1,000 to pay you, and you're going to perform for them, like you and your group or you by yourself, you're going to perform for them, and you're going to have a mastermind group with them to put your album together, right? So here's what you get out of that, okay? This is the benefits of having an engaged audience. Not only do you make a couple $1,000s, depending on what you charge. If you charge $500 each person, then you can do the math right there. So you get people in, and now they're in your city. You can get a camera. I shoot all my videos on like 100. Actually, I paid $99 for my camera. and I get HD 1080p crystal clear quality. It looks like Steven Spielberg shot it. I'm just gonna keep it real with you, okay? But so you get you a little camera and you document the footage and you do the making of your album. Okay, so now you're making money from your audience, and you're also making money from the making of your album. And that's how you monetize yourself and your brand in the new music economy. Now, I'm gonna put an FTC disclaimer in this recording to say that I'm not responsible for anything that happens, with the people that you invite out to your hometown, and you've got to be very careful with your fans and things like that. But for educational purposes only, I'm saying that if you were to do something like that, that's an example of how you monetize your brand, and that's some of the things that we're going to be, tactics and strategies we're going to be teaching inside the Micro Celebrity Blueprint. So, Christian, if you want to follow up with
That sounds good. Yeah. I guess I'll start off. I'm really unsure about what exactly you want me to talk about. If you want me to stay in the realm of what I'm supposed to cover in the course, but let me kind of just touch on some stuff, and then I'll kind of just stay on my side of things. But just today, actually, I got a phone call from one of my students, and he just recently signed to some label. I don't know which one it was, but the label has connections with people at Kiss FM, which is a popular radio station over here in LA. And his track was actually played on Kiss FM on one of their radio shows. It wasn't, I don't think it was one of their main ones, like during the day or anything like that, but it was during one of their late night things they did. But it's crazy because the way it happened was through him being on social media. And not only that, but then after they actually called him, they followed up with him and whatnot, was that he actually mentioned my, I guess you could say it's my name, but it's one of my brands, which is called Electronica Life. And just for that to happen, it's kind of a domino effect at sometimes, where when you put yourself out there through all these resources, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and all that kind of stuff, things just actually happen, and it's way more leverageable than it used to be way back in the day. And I think that's kind of a common theme that we're talking about, is that there's a lot of leverage with what you guys are going to learn in this course. And if you leave yourself out of it and you think that this is not for you, and you're actually a dedicated musician or a dedicated celebrity to whatever you're trying to go for, and you don't think this is for you, you should actually think again, because if you try to learn all this stuff by yourself, you're not going to learn it anytime soon. I mean, myself and Brandon, I can't speak for Ro, but we've been studying this stuff probably for over 4 years and spent a lot of money on courses and all that kind of stuff. And what we're going to teach you is a really quick shortcut to all the stuff that we've learned over the last 4 years. And I wanted to touch on another thing too, that, who said it? The thing, what do we say? I'm looking through my notes here. Yeah, that whole thing with Jill Sobel is really, really incredible. Raising money, and especially, Brandon, I never even knew it was back in the day too. I thought it was like, I don't know, 4 years ago, which is not really back in the day to me, but that's incredible to raise money to make your album, especially that amount, is just incredible. Ro, did you hear about this story before?
I had never heard of it before either.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. I mean,
especially before social media was where it is now. I mean, back in just MySpace days, that's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, and those are some of the notes I was taking, was that right now with the tools that we have, I mean, back in the day it was just it was just MySpace. There was no Twitter around. I mean, there was YouTube, but no one was really using YouTube for what we're using it these days for. So with all the outlets that we have, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, blogging, fan asset lists, all that kind of stuff combined, creates so much leverage for you that you're bound to be found by somebody, or you're bound to create enough leverage to pull off a Jill Sobel and raise money for whatever you're trying to do. I mean, me myself, I mean, I'm not going to just say that, this one of my clients has done this. I have my own personal stories too, to where because of what we were doing about 6 months ago, some of the campaigns we were running, that we were found by a popular magazine out here in LA, and they wanted to do a story on my group, and then from that led into getting gigs to play at the House of Blues. The House of Blues then want us to do a bigger show for them and all that kind of stuff. So it really is a domino effect once you get it going. And if you've noticed, and this has to do with attraction marketing. When you're doing really, really well and people are noticing you and you have all the buzz, people start to flock to you even faster and even more. There's a book called Crush It by Gary Vaynerchuk, and I highly recommend that you guys get it, whoever's listening to this call, and read that book, because it's going to set a tone in your mind to really believe. If you don't think any of this is possible, or you think this is a bunch of BS, just go read that book, and you'll come to understand to why it really all is possible. And in that book, Gary Vaynerchuk, who's the author, who's basically the biggest, maybe not the biggest, but the very wide known biggest internet wine guru on the place of Earth, talks about, wherever the eyeballs are, so wherever the attention is where the money follows. Okay? And back to what I was saying about, when you start doing things and the attention's getting a lot, or coming to you a lot more, then all of a sudden you're rapidly and exponentially growing your brand, which increases your wealth and all that kind of stuff, and more importantly, your opportunity. So think about it that way, that all these things that you're going to be learning creates a lot of opportunity for you to build a bigger brand, to be seen, to be heard, and just be more out there.
Nice. Cool. So I think we can actually wrap this up. We've kind of given you guys some value, given you some content. If you're watching this or listening to this recording or watching it, you should see a link on the bottom of this page that says buy now, and you can just go ahead and click that link below, and that link is going to take you to the sales page, where you can go ahead and get a copy of the Micro Celebrity Blueprint. And I can promise you that if you don't find value, and if you don't find some of the most cutting edge, revolutionary music marketing strategies for how to build a personal brand, for how to literally turn complete strangers into loyal fans who will pay for your products. I mean, I do it, Ro does it, Christian does it. I mean, we all do it, and it's not something that is done by accident. Okay, there are principles, there are time-tested strategies that you can follow and really gain from, us spending, probably collectively over, 20, 30 grand on blogs, on webinars, on products, on mastermind courses, learning from the top online marketing gurus in the world. And to be honest with you, that's how we all met, because we were all in the same mastermind circles, buying the same products, leveraging, the tactics and everything like that. So we've spent, well over, 30 grand, just in combined knowledge and trial and error and different coaching programs, that you're actually able to take full advantage of this knowledge and cut the learning curve really get clarity on what you need to be doing to, whether that's your goal to get out of your 9 to 5, whether it's your goal to get out of your mom's basement, whether it's your goal to provide for your family, whether it's your goal to just create a legacy for yourself, whatever your goals are and whatever your pressing needs are that is fueling you to, start your music career, whatever's holding you back, this course is going to allow you to tap into our knowledge and take advantage of all the money that we've spent, learning these strategies and actually synthesizing them, condensing them down to a formulaic process for you that will help you, not have to spend $1 million or not have to spend, thousands of dollars to get this knowledge. So what I highly recommend right now, if you want to take your future, you want to take your career, your destiny to the next level, click the link right below this video, and I promise you, you're going to be utterly shocked on how affordable this training program is with all of the modules that we have put together for you. You're going to learn everything from Facebook marketing, from YouTube marketing, from how to build your own personal brand, and using your blog. You're going to learn how to leverage Twitter. I mean, there's the amount of value that you're going to get here is, easily worth $2,000 or more, easily. And the beauty is, because we are so inspired to really help artists and really create an opportunity for anybody who has a dream, we are putting this price ridiculously low, okay? Ridiculously low. So go ahead and click the link on the other page and take action on your future today. And we definitely look forward to speaking with you inside the course and in the near future.
Brandon, let me speak on one more thing. I just thought of something while you're talking, and then people can proceed to push the buy now button. But one thing that we Brandon and I have deeply talked about before is about fan asset building, fan asset list building, or just basically, the leverage we were talking about before, whether it's on Facebook or Twitter, YouTube, and even your fan asset list that you have. Think about this, and this is really important, and I don't think a lot of people really realize that they have a lot of power and control over things like music charts. So think about if you had, kind of like how Brandon was saying, let's say you have 10,000 fans collectively, whether that's through Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, blah, 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 blah. Okay?
Christian, you're kind of breaking up a little.
Can you hear me good?
I can hear you now. You were breaking up, but you're fine now, babe.
Okay, good. So let's say you have 10,000 people across all your avenues through your mediums, okay? And you put out a track, whatever it is, or maybe you put out a CD, whatever it is, doesn't really matter, but you put out something musically that you can actually make money on. Now, let's say you have a track and it's on the iTunes charts, okay? Now, with the push of a button, you send out an email to your fan asset list, or you put a post on Facebook. If you have a responsive and engaged audience and they respect you, you can actually begin to control the charts that your music are on. Now, if you start and your track just finally gets out on iTunes, obviously, your track's going to be, in the thousands or 10,000s, whatever it is, right? But you put out an email to your, let's say, 10,000 list, and all of a sudden you're climbing really fast, all because you pushed a button that says, hey, I just put out my track and it's on iTunes. I really appreciate your support, blah, 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 blah. Now, if you get that track to in the top 10 or the top 100 or whatever it is, and it might be even smaller depending on your musical niche, but if you get it in that top 10, a lot of charts show top 10 when you go onto their websites, okay? In the musical niche I'm in, which is electronic dance music, there's a website called Beatport, and on Beatport, when you go to their homepage and they show like the top 10 or even 20 tracks showing. Now, if you had the ability to get your track on there with the push of a button, now all the leverage of the website that does all the work for you, now you're getting all this traffic that is seeing your track because you pushed a button and now you're having being able to get it all the way to number one with the help of the website or with the help of the chart. Okay, so that is really important, and a lot of people do not realize it, that they have the control to control charts. And I think it's going to be a big ordeal when people start to realize it, because then they're going to start taking action on exactly what we're teaching and what we're saying.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, I never even thought about it like that. But yeah, that's so true. Basically what he's saying is that your fan asset list, which is really the background of everything that I teach personally, is going to give you the leverage at will to push your music up the charts by sending out an email to people and just say, hey, go buy this, or hey, go check this out. And once you gain that type of authority and that type of respect, which we're going to show you exactly how to do, then you're going to have that power at your fingertips to just wake up, hop out, just get out of bed, write a quick email, and, that's just how it works. So take action, click the buy button now, and make sure that you get your hands on this. I don't know how long this is going to be on the market for, but we do want to get it in the hands of people who are looking for change, who are looking for a solution to taking their dreams out of the freezer and letting them thaw out and actually giving them a medium where they can cook their dreams, make them hot, and have full control over your destiny. And that's really what the micro celebrity blueprint is going to allow you to do. So click the buy button now, and we definitely look forward to seeing you inside of the product. Take care.